Welcome back. You're still with me, Sonali Krishna, and you're watching the Brand Equity Cannes special. Film has always been one of the more celebrated shows at Cannes, and 2009 did not disappoint. It's a category that needs no introduction. Without further ado, we bring to you the film lines at Cannes 2009.
I got it. This has got to be Richie. Hello. How do I answer this thing?
Push the button.
Which damn button?
Hit the talk button.
Talk button. It is a piece of tin. It's not even a real phone. Will you get off your ass and come and help me with this thing?
When the night has come and the land is dark and that moon is the only light we'll see. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
He's the exact opposite of Maurice Levy in more ways than one. He's cut and dry, he's one of a kind, and he's one of the leading businessmen of the world. Meet Martin Sorrell of WPP. Thank you so much for joining us, Sir Martin.
Good.
Thank you so much. Considering the size, your size, scale, and your global penetration, can you tell me why the top 3 agencies are not the WPP agencies?
Well, the advertising business, just so that we get things straight, is about 3 billion out of 15 billion.
Absolutely.
Which is about 20% of the business. Our agencies are doing well on a global basis. They've maintained their market positions. And currently we have about 27% of our business in the bricks and next 11 going to a third. That's the objective. In new media, in digital, we're about 25%. Again, goes to about a third in terms of our objectives. And then consumer insight is already about 26-27% of our business. Together with direct, digital, interactive, we wanted to be at half. We're pretty much already there.
In the Asian market, how would India stack up for you?
And creatively, India is extremely strong. You know, people such as Piyush, in the context of the Indian market, have an extremely strong reputation. You might even call it dominant reputation. So creatively they stand out very well. In terms of size, our Indian business is about $400 million of revenue out of 15 billion. The Chinese business is about 950 million. But essentially India is a very important market. It's certainly in our top 15 market.
Since WPP has so much of an emphasis on below the line, and I believe significant part of the revenue for the WPP model does come from this, do you think these categories and these particular verticals get enough respect and recognition than the traditional categories?
They're starting to. Essentially, creative agencies have dominated Cannes, and what they've tended to do when they've opened up other categories, you take the PR awards this year, there were 15 awards,
right,
of which I think 3 came from specialist PR agencies, which is a bit of a nonsense. And the reason for that is that there is a way of applying for these awards. There is a cost, both in time and money, and it's increasingly difficult for smaller agencies and specialist agencies, particularly in the areas you mentioned, to compete effectively against the big agencies.
You recently said that if India and China have been on the wrong side of history for 200 years. They will be on the right side for the next 200 years. What is your advice to India to ensure that this time round they are on the right side of history?
I don't know whether it was a bit of neighbourhood envy that forced the Indians to focus on their economy, or whether neighbourhood envy might have driven them to do it. But certainly, the Chinese have been doing it since even before Deng Xiaoping's 1985 speech. I think India, it bills itself, I think probably quite rightly, as the world's fastest growing democracy. India caught on to that relatively later, but is now moving forward very aggressively. The big issue will be whether an era will descend into an era of protectionism. I'd also say if all our operations were as good as India, I wouldn't have to sit here and talking to you.
Oh, whoa. You've said that the advertising market will only get worse.
I just said that 09, we've always said 09 would be difficult because there's a lack of events, as in 08 or indeed as in 2010. One of the long-term issues is whether consumers and corporates have been permanently impacted. I'm not bright enough to figure out whether it's a permanent impact. I think there is more confidence amongst CEOs and CMOs. I think they do feel better about life. But if their hearts and minds are better, which I think they are, it hasn't seeped through to their writing hands. They're not writing checks.
When do you plan to retire?
Somebody will come along and tap me on the shoulder and say, "You've done enough, you've screwed up enough, now go away."
That's a long time away.
It could be tomorrow, it could be in 25 years, who knows?
Great. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin Sorrell. If you thought the days at Cannes were packed and heavy, the nights, let me assure you, were anything but relaxed. The global ad fraternity believes in working hard and partying harder, and that's exactly how they did it. Recession or not, Cannes 2009 threw up some wicked parties, and Brand Equity decided to play jury, judge, and executioner. Feast your eyes.
As the sun went down, the advertising community at Cannes recharged their creative juices. The opening gala, the first party at Cannes 2009, was anything but a slow starter. While some waxed eloquent about Cannes,
fun and inspiration.
It's everything for me. Advertisement is my life, so that's why I'm here.
Others signaled their intent to have a good time. For music and effort alone, we give the opening gala a bronze lion. The most anticipated party of the week, the India Party. The country's finest was on display, be it talent, food, or even enthusiastic converts. A thoroughly enjoyable soiree and every bit as deserving of a gold lion. A poolside party under a moonlit sky overlooking the city of Cannes. Did someone say cliché? Whispers in huddled corners and not much else other than location. The Prime Focus party only just managed a bronze lion. On the other hand, the Shots party was a runaway hit. I mean, can you really go wrong with strobe lights and Euro dance music? The most tightly controlled party of the week went on to the wee hours, and I don't think there was much creativity oozing the next morning. For overall pomp and performance, we give the Shots party a thoroughly deserved gold lion. And wrapping up the week, the closing gala. If you think we've seen it all before, think again. A wicked band, a far better menu, and if that wasn't enough, the truth about Cannes finally comes out.
I think Cannes is one of those amazing experiences where everybody gets together, but nobody quite understands what's happening in the world at the moment. The world is going from analog to digital, and those people who don't get it will be left for dead.
I think David Lubas is probably the worst Cannes jury president ever.
Alright then, now you know, and you heard it first right here. For overall excellence and sheer brilliance, we give the closing gala the Grand Prix for showing us all exactly how to have a blast in the south of France.
And with that, we bring down the curtain on the Brand Equity Cannes special. We hope you've had as much fun watching it as we've had working through it. Don't forget to tune in next week to get more insights from the glamorous world of advertising and marketing. Until then, merci beaucoup, bye-bye.